Hi everyone, my name is Arkadiusz Borucki. I work as Principal SRE Database Engineer for Beamery. Today, I will talk about MongoDB cloud databases and security audits. Can you imagine? You want to buy something online and you enter your credit card information into a web browser, but you don't really know who and how will process your data. Can you sleep at night? Or imagine you are company owner and your organization is storing and processing cardholder data, but you are not really sure if your data infrastructure is secure enough. Are you dreaming on data breaches? In my talk, I will tell you how to securely store sensitive information in MongoDB Cloud Database and protect your data infrastructure from attacks. I will also tell you how to prepare your MongoDB cluster for successful PCI DSS audit with help of MongoDB security features. I hope you will enjoy my talk. We will start from introduction, then we will talk about PCI DSS audits and goals of PCI DSS. We will check how Atlas and self-managed MongoDB cluster are dealing with PCI DSS challenges. We will have live demo and summary. Okay, let's get started. I work for Beamery. Beamery is one of the fastest growing tech companies in the UK. We have built the first and smartest talent operating system, which is helping some of the world's largest organizations attract, engage, and retain candidates at scale. Last year, 2020, was the most successful year in the history of the company. We recorded almost 400% growth. Our company has doubled in size since 2018, and we are just about to reach 200 employees globally. Our headquarters is in the UK, but we also have people in the US and in Germany, and this is just beginning of our growth. I am member of platform team. Beamery SaaS is cloud agnostic, multi-tenanted, single version software as a service with multiple production instances globally. We operate at scale. Currently, we have around 600 nodes distributed across production and non-production environments. We use infrastructure as code. 100% of our IaaS or PaaS configuration updates are propagated through infrastructure as code. Our CD tooling enabling us to have transactional style deployments, as configuration through infrastructure as code is version controlled, alongside with application. And lastly, as you can see, our tech stack is of cutting edge, with MongoDB being our main database where we store data. Security audits are the best way to improve security in your organization. It will help you to identify weak spots and vulnerabilities in your IT infrastructure. There are several types of audits, but on this talk, we will focus on PCI DSS, Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, developed by Security Council. Applies to all entities that store, process, or transmit cardholder data. PCI DSS aims to improve security by setting guidelines. There are 6 major goals of PCI DSS. Secure network. Your firewall rules should limit traffic only to those ports which are known and required. Vulnerability management. Good vulnerability scanner is essential component of vulnerability management solution. Scan your infrastructure regularly and discover potential vulnerabilities or problems with hardening. Protect cardholder data. Always encrypt your data, at rest and in transit. Strong access control measures. Use airbag and follow principle of least privilege. Assign unique IDs to your users. Try to avoid shared accounts like admin. Monitor and test network in order to implement fast intrusion detection. Monitor malicious activities and procedure violations. Information security policy. That's collection of documents and guidelines which are telling how organization is dealing with its cardholder data environment. Okay, but why we talk about security? Why security is so important recently? The frequency and severity of data breaches continues to escalate year on year. And this is very, very expensive. According to Allianz, cyber incidents are more risky than pandemic outbreak. Good database security plan is essential for protecting most important asset, your data. Now, let's have a look how Atlas deals with PCI DSS challenges. MongoDB Cloud has been PCI DSS certified, but if you are building your own cluster, you are responsible for your own PCI DSS certification. Fortunately, Atlas provides you security features which will help you to be PCI DSS compliant. Let's have a look on those features. When you are creating new cluster, always enable TLS 1.2 by default. MongoDB federated authentication links your MongoDB credentials across many MongoDB systems. Atlas implemented authentication by using federated identity management model. Your company stores your credentials using service identity provider. Atlas can authenticate you using data from your identity provider. You don't need to create additional username and password. Private endpoint. When you enable this feature, Atlas will build new private VPC and put network load balancer in front of your Atlas cluster. You can connect from application VPC via private endpoint. And this communication via private endpoint is one-directional. Atlas is not able to initialize communication back. That ensures your network trust boundary is not extended. Database auditing. Atlas administrators should trace system activities on deployments with multiple users. And finally, my favorite feature, client-side field-level encryption. Application can encrypt sensitive data in document, like for example credit card number, before we'll send this document to database server. In database server, my credit card number will be encrypted. Even if someone has admin access to this server, this person will not be able to read my credit card number. Just application with appropriate key will be able to decrypt this information. Atlas makes security challenges easier for us. Many security challenges has been automated. For example, we don't need to manually apply most recent security fixes. or we don't need to think about OS hardening or encryption between MongoDB nodes, between replica set, primary and secondaries. But when we use self-managed MongoDB, we are responsible for all those points. Now let's see how self-managed MongoDB cluster deals with PCI DSS challenges. Authentication, authorization, and auditing are disabled by default. When you are creating new cluster, you need to create first user. Then in MongoDB config file, you need to set security, authorization to enabled, and restart your server. It will enable authentication and authorization. And again, user back and follow principle of least privilege. Assign just unique IDs to your users. You should also enable auditing. You should audit events such authentication and authorization, some DDL operations like schema changes or CRUD operations. You need to decide what you want to audit and create appropriate audit filter. You should also send your audit log file to some logging management system, to some central server like Elasticsearch or Splunk for analysis purposes. Encrypt communication, always. Communication between application or Mongo shell and database server should be via encrypted channel. Communication between tools like MongoDump or Mongo Restore and database server should be via encrypted channel. Communication between MongoDB nodes, between primary and secondaries, should be also encrypted. MongoDB deployment should have valid certificate generated and signed by certificate authority. In your MongoDB config file, under TLS, you should specify CA file and PEMKey file. You can put mode to require SSL. If you do this, communication without SSL will not be possible with this cluster. Also, parameter disabled protocols should be used. You should specify TLS 1.0 and 1.1. They are out of date and they are considered as insecure. You should use TLS 1.2 or higher. Vulnerability management. I will tell you more about vulnerability management during live demo. At this moment, you should remember that you need to upgrade your database regularly. Encrypt your data at rest. There are two options for master key management. Integrated third-party key management appliance via KeyMIP or local key management via Keyfile. Use first option. Remember that you need to rotate your master key at least once a year. Logging. MongoDB log file is not encrypted as part of MongoDB encrypted storage engine. Potentially, MongoDB can output sensitive information to log file. That depends on log verbosity level which is set. If you have this problem, please read about log reduction feature. Network. Database server should be in private VPC without any external IP address and access to the internet. You should also whitelist IP addresses or networks which can communicate with this cluster. If some IP address or network will not be on whitelist, communication with your MongoDB cluster will not be possible. Please visit MongoDB official documentation and go to security checklist. This is excellent place to start preparation for successful PCI DSS audit. I was using this documentation when I was creating this talk. Can you remember this slide? The number of cyber attacks and data breaches can be limited, but good database security planning and frequent security audits. I have also a live demo for you. I want to show you basic MongoDB audit. I have MongoDB replica set, which is running on CentOS. I want to show you config file. I didn't put any security recommendations there, so I'm using default settings without any access control or encryption. I'm using just not default port for MongoDB. I'm using 2500, default one is 27017. I have Mongo Audit tool. This is very basic tool. I think for PCI DSS audit, you will need something more sophisticated. Just please remember to use such tools only on databases which you are own. We will run advanced test. We need to put IP address of MongoDB primary replica set member and port. And now we are running security check and vulnerability scan. We will have 25 checks. Now we have result. And let's see details. We don't use default port, this is good. But we didn't specify any hosts in whitelist. We don't use 28017, but we are exposing MongoDB version number. We have 4.2.8. Encryption is available, but we didn't enable it, and we can be victim of man-in-the-middle attack. We don't have any TLS certificate, and we need to skip this test, but we should have one. Authentication is disabled. Everyone can connect to our cluster. Now we will be checking some known vulnerabilities. I think in our version 4.2.8 we should be okay with those vulnerabilities, but we need to wait and see. Okay, authentication, we don't have any credentials because it's disabled. And also other tests needs to be skipped because access control is disabled. Solution for this problem is to change MongoDB config file, follow official documentation, and put there best security practices. I also want to show you operating system audit via Linux tool. I have CentOS. I didn't put any security recommendation. So we can say that I'm using MongoDB and Linux without any security adjustment. And this is a very bad idea for production use cases, and especially for PCI DSS audit. You always need to invest some time and secure your environment. It will bring you benefits in the future. Okay, we have results. Hardening index just 69. We should be around 100. So this result is not good. We have firewall, but we don't have malware scanner. Let's scroll up. Here we see many recommendations. We can display one because we don't have time for more, so we can see details. No malware scanner found. And suggestion is to harden the system by installing one scanner. And this is very good suggestion. I also want to show you MongoDB official documentation and security checklist. If you are preparing your MongoDB cluster for PCI DSS audit, you should start from this website. You should read carefully all hints which are on this website and implement them. All best security practices are in one place. You can also request MongoDB security architecture for PCI DSS compliance by visiting this website and putting your email address there. Another website which I want to show you is MongoDB Alerts. On this website, MongoDB is posting the latest vulnerabilities under security section, which has been found in MongoDB software. We can see vulnerability number, description, and affected MongoDB versions. So if you are running any of those versions, you should upgrade them. Also, auditor can ask you during PCI DSS audit how you are identifying new MongoDB vulnerabilities. So you can answer that you are visiting regularly mongodb.com alerts website, and also you are subscribing MongoDB newsletter. This is a very good idea to visit this website regularly and in general upgrade your products. Summary. For PCI DSS audit, you will need up-to-date documentation. You need to document your setup and document security features which you are using. You will need to show this documentation to auditor. Evidence. You need to also provide evidence that your data infrastructure is secure and you don't have any no vulnerabilities. Very good idea for evidence is output from vulnerability scanner. You will have in this output everything which can be wrong in your infrastructure. Logging. As I told you, potentially MongoDB can output sensitive data to log file. Auditor will ask you to show him production log file. Make sure you are using log reduction if you have any sensitive data there. Backup. Very important point. You must have regular backup of your database. Also, you should test your restore. Client-side field-level encryption. If you keep, for example, credit card numbers, think about client-side field-level encryption. And try to stay on the latest MongoDB version. Regularly upgrade your database server and patch your OS. This is mandatory. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me to be a speaker on MongoDB Live 2021. I hope my talk was beneficial for you. I wish you all the best Thank you very much once again.